Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour, brought to you by Trio Jazz Club, Sioux Falls' premier jazz club. Enter as friends, leave as family. Serendipity Studio Gallery and Gifts, Chasers Food and Spirits, Excel Chiropractic, Quality Nails, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment Conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Thank you, Zach. Hey, great to have all of you listening, downloading, sharing. Keep up the good work. Lots of engaging talk on this week's show. Steve Handel and Heather Thomas are in the band Alchemy, and they're in the early phase of performing as an acoustic duo as well, and Steve fronts Seventh Calling. They talk about their musical journeys as musicians and singers. Then more multi-talent as we talk with art teacher, costumer, actor, and owner-operator of Simply Ever After Entertainment, Lindsay Lindaman. But first, let's pop the cork on this bubbly little show.
Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party.
Doesn't matter what you toast with, as we all have different tastes, different times of the day we happen to be listening. I'm having the usual. It's Jasper Newton, yes, Mr. Jack Daniels, Diet Coke with a lime. Now, you might be drinking from a bottle of water, from a glass of milk, from a cup of coffee, having a spot of tea. Maybe it's a beer, a wine, or even champagne in a nice flute. Whatever your beverage of choice is, lift it high and toast to things finally falling into place. The variety show that I co-produce and co-host with Emily Wilson is called The Vaughties. We had to reschedule from a late September date due to scheduled talent having conflicts with other productions dates. And a few other things, too. So we chose October 9th at the Icon. And it was available. And it took until this past weekend, though, to get the talent signed. Now, you may be saying, oh, but hey, that's not till October 9th. Yeah, but we got to get posters ready, all of that pre-stuff. So now we've got it in place. Now we can start going forward. And over the ensuing weeks on this show, you will learn more about that event. In the meanwhile, take a look at thevaughties.com. So cheers to things coming together. The Weekend Eve Toast is brought to you by Chasers, West 12th and Ellis Road. Stop in for great food, great beverages, and fun times. Monday nights at 7, we play Dave Holly Hour Trivia. This coming Monday's theme will be Fall Festivities. Chasers, your neighborhood gathering place. Honorable mention. What made Dave laugh, chuckle, chortle, downright slap my knee silly, or even shed happy tears recently? Well, over the weekend, my love and I were able to take a few minutes to sit down, get out the big calendar for 2026, and plan our major getaways. Ho, that put a smile on my face. And not just plan, she already has lodging figured out, complete with reservations. It feels so good being this far ahead for once. The only downfall will be I still won't pack until the nights before we leave. Later in the show, Lindsay Lindaman. In just a few minutes, musicians Steve Handel and Heather Thomas on the Dave Holly Hour. Tomorrow is First Friday in downtown Sioux Falls. Oh, it becomes a fun time at night then. And Serendipity Studio will have their usual fun. A new rotational gallery exhibit with snacks and wine. Jonathan Peterson is the featured associate artist for the month. Then Saturday, explore the Atrium Makers Market from 10 until 4. Serendipity Studio is ready to welcome you. Visit serendipitystudiosd.com for details. Trio Jazz Club is an intimate music venue in the heart of Sioux Falls. It's family-owned and family-run. Ricardo and Mary Beth and the entire staff provide the art of hospitality, while the best local and regional musicians provide the smooth sounds. It's a great vibe with live music Tuesday through Saturday nights. The chefs and mixologists offer an amazing menu and beer and wine lists. Cocktails as smooth as the jazz. Join the club, Trio Jazz Club, across from the Washington Pavilion. Enter as friends, leave as family.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or xochiros.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
Follow the Dave Holly Hour on Facebook and Instagram.
Welcome back, everyone. Of course, you're going to hear it right off the bat. It is always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment. It's always a pleasure to have new guests on as well. And today we welcome somebody that plays a little more rackety guitar than normal that we've had on the show before. Steve Handel, how are you?
Hey, I'm very good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well also. Great voice.
Oh,
Don't put me out of business, please.
I'll try not to.
Okay. Along with you, Heather Thomas, how are you?
I'm great, Dave. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Great to have you both here. And Heather, you reached out. First of all, we know each other a little bit from a voice class that I taught,
you were teaching
not
me
too
all the
far.
voice acting tips
Yes.
and tricks.
And we're going to put you to work after this, too, you know.
Great.
All right, fantastic. And you said, well, you know, once you hear Steve's voice, you might want to have him do some, too.
Yeah.
Sure. That made sense
Well,
to me.
first,
Yeah,
let's
right?
talk about why, though. You said you're kind of on a crusade almost to get this man some recognition.
Yeah.
Recognition, around town.
And just the live music venues as
Yeah.
a whole. So I relocated back to Sioux Falls just a couple years ago. And I was just kind of a fan going around to some of the live events. And then kind of got into the community a little bit and heard a really common theme. And that is, it's really hard for some of the local cover bands to find good gigs and then get people that like that kind of music
Right.
advertised in there. You know, pretty common thing since there's so many things going on in the Sioux Empire. So I kind of hooked up with Steve, and I had kicked off a business called Gen X Promotions. And so I promote some of the bands. And then Steve and I started a band together called Alchemy.
Yeah.
And then we also have an acoustic set. So he's really the creative director of all of that.
Yeah.
And now I'm enjoying doing some band promotion for these bands and a bunch of others.
Yeah, and then another one that he's quite famous for is his Seventh Calling.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us about how you first got started. You're a lifelong musician, South Dakotan, born in Meadow and live here in Sioux Falls now.
Yes.
What was the first thing you remember doing musically?
The first thing musically would have been, I would have been perhaps 9, 10 years old, and that would have been alto saxophone, actually, in the school band. And I remember going shopping and doing all of this, picking it up and all these things with my mom, with my parents, right? So this is how I kind of got into it, albeit I didn't realize that I was just kind of reaching a little bit, you know, like I want to get into it, right? But what part do I want to get into? It wasn't saxophone, but I enjoyed doing it all the way through high school, played it, you know. And we picked up this King saxophone, you know, really good brand back then, and had it refurbished. I remember they had it refurbished, and I went through it all the years of high school, learned how to play a lot of different things with that. And what I did was a couple of years later is when I finally got into acoustic guitar then. So that would have been the first time watching actually bands like Fleetwood Mac and stuff like that I would see on TV. They would have videos, like you would see these things occasionally on, you know, late night TV, I guess I would call it. So
11:30 on a Saturday night.
Yeah,
typically.
pretty
I recall
much,
those. Yeah,
and I'm hanging out, watching this stuff, and just wow, that's pretty cool, and try to get into it. And then I hit 13, and then I saw a Kiss video for the first time ever, and I saw what Paul Stanley was doing, and I said, "That's it.
We're stepping it up. Huh?
That's what I'm going to do." Right. So everything changed for me in the game. So I was one of the kids that went through the 80s watching the scene and the music and all of this stuff change from the 70s style, which I grew up on, into a whole different animal. And of course, all the way up to today to watch all of this stuff. So the creativity part is really what got me into it, watching how everyone not only portrayed their music, but the music they wrote themselves, because it was a really talented time, really, really awesome to listen to all of the individual people, And so that's how I got started in the farm town, Minnow, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think of that. And back then, of course, it wasn't cell phones and look up instant information. We didn't have anything. You'd have a band playing. You would have my parents getting phone called, "Hey, we can hear your son's band playing on our farm out here," right? Outside in the country. And so that's kind of how I got into it. And it just really stayed with me, or there was an imprint, I guess, of the music that just stayed inside of me, basically. And that's what made me continue and be where I'm at today and strive through all the years that I've done all these different things, right? The original thing that you just mentioned, the Seventh Calling, and different various projects that I've done over my time. Yeah.
All right. So Alchemy is known for the covers.
Yes.
Seventh Calling, how do you describe that?
I would describe them like a later Judas Priest, dual guitars. I guess what I would consider what I called in the 80s heavy metal, right? And you would have songs like You've Got Another Thing Coming, or you've got songs like Rat, Wanted Man,
Right.
Round and Round, these things. And back then we called that stuff heavy metal, hard rock. Well, you have all these terminology, right? Nowadays it's something completely different is what it is. But that's the style. ZZ Top, hard rock, like
Right.
rock and roll, blues rock,
Southern rock.
Yeah, exactly. So Seventh Calling takes a different direction, and I would call it cross, like I say, between classic heavy metal, I guess, and with a modern twist on it. Because I did the drummer that I have, for example, like if you have a drummer that really drives the music, that changes it a little bit. So it makes it a little more aggressive, a little heavier, a little, whatever, really into it. And that's Shannon Fry. That's my drummer for Seventh Calling. And when I come across him, we had already had a couple albums out at that time. So I was looking for a change. We were classic, I guess I'd call it. He brought the modern edge to it with his style of performance, right? The way he plays. So that's where we're at currently since 2010 with that project. It's like a cross between the old school Judas Priest and current day, like, God, I guess if thrash is even a title anymore. But really, if you think about bands like the early Anthrax, Slayer, some of these bands, he goes beyond that with his drumming. So our style becomes that, but yet there's still the classic singing style where you can understand what I'm saying, right?
Exactly.
And melodic singing and all of this stuff. So I guess the only way in a nutshell to call Seventh Calling would be modern heavy metal, I guess I'd call
All right.
it. Something like that.
Well, we it's no longer just genres. We have subgenres and subgenres and so forth. Yeah. And of course, the best thing that I love is, everything that's such a crossover. And, even they have the shows of, crossing over from one genre to another with two groups together, putting it together. And, when you go see, years ago I saw Dierks Bentley, and also opening for Dierks Bentley was then, we'll use their current name, Lady A. And then Halfway to Hazard or something was the opening before them even. And at the end, they get out there and they're playing the Doobie Brothers, jamming on the doobies. And it's like, man, this is fantastic stuff. And you see that anymore. And it's just so great that people bring it to the stage. because as a good friend has always said, live music is good for the soul. Yeah, and you just can't beat it. And what has been your favorite part of being a performer in that way, not just the musician?
Mm-hmm. My favorite part would be, along with many other musicians you see that you talk to, I guess I would call it, you love being on the stage, but what you really love the most is when there's something that you put yourself into, right? And you write it or you have it and you're playing it and you go to a place that you've never been and you can see what people react to. Like when you're looking at their faces, if they know your music and they sing along with some of the words or know the beat or know anything going on, it really makes you feel, pretty good that you're sharing something out of from what you feel, and they're feeling it. They're getting into it. I would say that would be the biggest satisfaction for myself out of the original.
Yeah, make that connection to everybody. I always think that one of the things that I enjoy is if I'm going somewhere and it's going to be a band that I've never heard, and they're doing original songs and so forth. So it's not like it's a cover that I understand. But all of a sudden, I find myself starting to, I pick up the lyrics and sing along with it. And I think that's crucial anymore. I love the point, though, about, you can actually hear you sing.
Yes.
Because that was always, when, thankfully, now you can just go online and get the lyrics.
Yes.
But, the old days of if the record, the LP, didn't have the lyrics on it.
Oh.
And you had to sit there and listen and listen and listen and then realize, 20 years later that you're singing the wrong thing.
Right, stuff the cat box. That's, I remember that commercial about the Clash.
Yes.
They were getting the words wrong. Yes. It was so hard back then trying to be a cover band or copying somebody's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're right with that. That's awful funny. Some of the things that we would come up with without nowadays with the instant lyrics and that, and we didn't have the sleeve, which is something that ironically I love to collect. Yet is still vinyl, still the tape cassettes. I'm still into all that, and the lyrics.
And try reading the lyrics off of a vinyl now.
Oh,
good luck with that.
Exactly.
It's so tiny.
Yeah, it's well. If you see around behind you, you'll find a variety of things musically. If you got Leonard Skinner, and then right next to that, Tom Jones was the actual first cassette I ever owned. Wow. Bachman Turner Overdrive, the first 8-track that I ever purchased, and up there up top, the Grassroots Greatest Hits. That was the first LP that I ever bought with my own money, up above the door there. Yeah, so I still love it all. I've even got a 78 up on the wall too. Yeah. So whatever comes about, take it. And the big thing you got to remember now, though, is buy a storage unit because you're going to want to keep it all at some point.
Exactly.
Everything comes back.
It does.
Yeah. What do you see coming back in terms of music?
As far as the music, actually what I see coming back is a cycle, I guess, which is the biggest thing that I think probably the entertainment or the media world, even back when I was a kid and when all of us started with this stuff, it was on a circular path back then already, where things come back, right? Biggest thing that I see recycling is musicians' attitude when it comes to the words and the music and the style that they're writing. Everything comes around to a circle. Like we had the very creative 70s, but they were coming out of the 60s, which were very outspoken, and the 70s were very outspoken, very talented. Like these bands would go into a recording studio, play their parts, record it. Like nowadays, it's digital to a click track, right?
Yep.
And nobody's with you.
Oh, you record this in your basement, you do this over in your bedroom, wherever you find.
Yeah, see, or you're in the years of the COVID thing, we had all of the musicians on the Zoom meetings, right? On the video camera. Then you'd watch all of this stuff. No one was anywhere. So it was even though it was live, it wasn't like, as you mentioned, live. Like to watch a song being performed, even like the old videotapes that they do have of like the Sound City, for example, of some of them bands back then that would go in and record and just play. It's fascinating, and some of that drive was gone for so many years. And that's the attitude I'm talking about that I see coming back. Musicians are wanting to do it themselves again, do it live. They want to have the music, play it, right? Do it. They
and
don't
see
wanna,
it.
Yes, they don't want to work. And in the studio part, a lot of bands don't like the click track anymore. They like to try to feel it organically, like natural. And that's something that we were always taught for years now, several decades now, that's a no-no. You don't do that. When you do it so we can fix whatever you're doing easy. Yeah, I'm sure back in the day they thought that when they had to cut tape, right? And repeat.
Yeah, old radio guy here, the razor blades and the...
See? Yes.
That was fun stuff.
Yes, I'll bet. I'll bet line that up, right?
Steve, do you think that what drove the click tracks and the production was because it became such a big business?
Well...
So it was about money and time as opposed to the creativity?
That's actually really a good point because that's a good point. Well, all right.
I have
we'll
a
go
few
with that a minute.
from time to time.
Yeah, right.
I can stump him.
I always get at some point in the interview, oh, that's a really good question. And I would say, well, I usually get one in per interview. I haven't heard her yet, so let's go. Because you can take hers.
Yeah, excuse me again, but yes, that is very true. And unfortunately, the part of that happens is the industry, the cost gets driven up, and this has been going on for years. Like we've all seen this happening forever in the original world. And when you go into a studio, all of the gear, all of the things, such as you have here, yourself to run all of these things, it takes time, know-how. Do people want to get paid for talent? And if you have a record label involved, pretty soon you got 15 people in the middle of it that are all taking a cut. And next thing you know, you maybe have musicians playing their, okay, this brings the whole thing. All right. So then you have your musicians that you want to have in your group that are in the studio that unfortunately cannot keep up with the standard of recording. So then you're hitting repeat, re-record, repeat, doing these tracks over. And then it became a lot of bands would go to the studio wasting time not knowing to the record label what they're going to write. There was no pre-production. In a lot of people, they'd go into the studio and take 6 months to write an album instead of getting to the studio, which we've been taught nowadays you have to do to save money. Get there knowing the whole album already, know what you're going to record, go into the studio, record it, and pretty much have the biggest idea you have of your original songs as you go in there. Like there's fine details that you add in the production afterwards, whatever that you can add in, but it saves time, money, and it does cost an awful lot nowadays per hour to go into a full studio to record. And especially if people go in thinking they're going to go in and screw around and not have their things together, right?
Right.
So if you're not prepared, you're going to cost your band a whole lot of money, and be prepared to get a pink slip. You're going,
There's probably no band that can get away with what Led Zeppelin did when they did live in a castle.
So awesome.
And then the album had no name.
Yeah.
And they just told the record studio that that's the way it's going to be. And look what it produced, right?
I think they did okay, didn't they? Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, they were one of the first ones back then. Some of the guys back then were lucky enough to have control of their recording rights and their albums like they did at that
very
point.
Very creative, yeah.
But to be able to record organically like that is something that is hard to find anymore. And if you can get it done and you get that energy, that's what you capture, is the energy of it.
All right. So who's going to be out in front of people coming up? Is it going to be Alchemy? We're going to be having anything from Seventh Calling.
Oh, yes.
And then you said acoustic now, too?
Yes. Now, like her and I were involved in a show last week at Wiley's with a friend of ours, James Allen. Peters is his name. And he had invited us to be part of a show at Wiley's last week on Saturday after we had performed with Alchemy the night before in Yankton. So it was a busy weekend, and this would be our first introduction, Heather and mine, into the acoustic thing. So pretty soon here, we have a couple ideas that James has going on. We haven't announced them yet, but it's coming up here. But Wiley's will be one of the places that we
stay tuned.
And then also there's some other things going on coming around, like around the log cabin, that type of places during the week for a couple hours where we'll be able to, Heather and myself.
Right.
And then we'll probably add a couple guest musicians.
Yeah, because you can't have a whole lot of loading at the log cabin.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Just the
Especially if the speakers are over 6 foot tall.
Oh, for sure. That's exactly right. And those are a little more intimate. Those are a little
Right, yeah.
acoustic shows and whatnot, and for the big noise, the next thing that I'm going to have is coming up. At this point, we have a little bit of time off to build on the set list. We've got some hooks in the water. I think we're going to come up with some shows here coming up in October. We're kind of looking for September to be off to work on material and this and that and do this and build this acoustic.
Right.
We've started that last weekend. So,
And a lot of the bars do the Friday, Saturday shows.
Yes, I do,
and,
yeah.
we're always on the callback list too. We always fill in locally, but we love Thirsties out in Mitchell and Happy Hours in Yankton and the Wild Hair up in Brookings. So we kind of run the circuit with everybody else.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, it keeps you hopping then.
it
right?
does.
Sorry, I had to throw that in after hearing Wild Hair.
Yeah, right?
I
Love that.
I used to, I worked in Brookings for 5 years, so just put 2 and 2 together there then.
Yeah.
I love that the college kids love live music.
Yeah,
And they love
it's-
this old stuff, right?
True. See, that's what I think we discount so much is we sit there and we look at all these people that they have on the morning shows, and you're going like, who the hell are they? And yet the other day, then I saw somebody had Chicago on. And, here's all these kids that are looking at Chicago kind of going, I think I might have heard my folks talk about them or something.
Yeah.
And then they're enjoying it.
Right.
I always tell this, before my high school band teacher passed away, just a few days beforehand, I saw him in the hospital. They had done a biopsy in his mouth, so he couldn't speak or anything, but he could still twinkle with his eyes. And I went up and told him, I said, Tom, I said, I have to tell you a couple of things. I said, anytime anybody finds out that I've been in radio, their first question is always, what's your favorite music? And I said, my answer has never wavered. Good.
Hey.
Because I didn't grow up in the era of big band, but I sure love the music. He taught us that. I didn't grow up in listening to the classics, but I like them as well because of him. It's a music appreciation thing. And I typically can find, a good song in almost every genre and subgenre and sub-subgenre that we talked about, as long as it moves me.
Yes.
Yeah. What was that first song that moved you?
Oh, boy. That's a good one. Everybody can say back when they're kids,
You got it. Good job.
That's a
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. You know what I mean? Excuse me.
I was going to say, Steve, be really honest, like dig
I
deep.
am.
'Cause
Yeah.
I
I'm
know you don't
digging
want to
deep.
probably admit to this one, but go ahead.
Oh.
Actually, I'll tell you what. Beach Baby by the Mamas and the Papas.
Papas.
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
That song right there.
Yeah.
And that's
So you're older than you look is what you're telling me.
Exactly.
Okay.
So there was that song, and then the other one was Burnin' Love by Elvis Presley.
Presley. Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, after that was Rubbernecking by Elvis Presley. And I was like, I don't know, 5. But so those songs right there were like on if you remember, like Order Now, 100 on the KTEL Presents, right?
Right.
TV or whatever. And my mom would always buy these records, right? Well, she'd get this collection of stuff. And that's where the Mamas and Papas was on. And then she had gotten the double platinum Elvis, whatever, fold out where he's got the white on there at the end that he's wearing on the cover, right? And then it had all the hits from the beginning on it. And anyhow, that's what got me into the tennis racket, right? Playing along to these songs, singing. But really, where Mamas and Papas came from, that's where I started learning harmonies already from singing. So it really stuck with me. And that would be the first song that really got me into, all of that. And then after that, it was the Jan and Dean movie I saw on TV when I was a kid. I was like, oh, that skateboard sucked. But, that's where I got my influence from, was really the earlier groups. So what would you call it? Like the 60s, right? Like 60s guys and 50s guys, and songs like that, that it just really brought me into.
So my answer is way cooler.
Okay.
Do I get it out
Yes,
him
you
for
do.
1 minute? I would say mine was Modern Day Cowboy by Tesla.
Oh,
Wow.
So when I heard that on cassette, I was hooked.
bring the big guns.
It's the only time I'm cooler than you.
All right. Well, tell us how you got together with this cool guy then.
It was actually at a
Benefit.
benefit, right, for Ron John a couple of years ago.
Yep. A friend of mine for years that I had known.
And I had organized a couple of fan vans for a couple of other bands. We'd met casually, but then at that benefit, I came up to you and he had sang another great song that I loved from the Bullet Boys. And I'd never heard anybody sing that live before. And I said, "Did you really? How did you really know how to sing that song?" And then we started dating, I think, a couple of years later.
Yep, that's right.
And then when did you put the music together then, the two of you?
Since I was already doing a lot of promotion for the bands, I was already had picked back up piano. So I had already been playing and I had been working with a voice coach. It was an easy, after we start to build a life, we also kind of do this together. So
All right.
it's
Well,
kind
that's
of a fun way to
fantastic.
blend it all together.
I think we could actually talk for a couple of hours, but, there is a time where we have to call it. But you, both being first-time guests, get the same question, and sometimes there's a follow-up, depending upon how you answer the first one. So the first one is, when you're not part of the entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
All right. I like to be entertained by fishing.
Aha.
Yes. It's very peaceful. It's like a place to take care of the hustle and bustle of the business week, or the weekend.
Right.
You get a chance to get away. And then, we like our private time when it comes to fishing and getting away and certain things like that. So
Okay. Well, see, you took out the second question.
Oh.
Yeah, because the second question is any other hobbies.
Oh, yeah. I do a lot.
Okay. List the top one, other than fishing.
Other than fishing, the top would be just simply liking to enjoy, actually, like listening to different records, vinyl, and enjoying the day if it's a nice day like today, for example. And even on a rainy day, it's not so bad to be able to go into the old video archives, like if you can on YouTube, and just lay up some songs that match, throw on some Genesis or some songs that match the cloudy weather and make you feel better, and sunny days, music that makes you feel good with the sunny days.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Heather, your responses when you're not part of the entertainment world, what do you like to be entertained by?
I really enjoy watching old 80s movies and 2000s because I was busy raising kids. So I was not into some of those funny comedic movies. So I really enjoy rewatching them. And then he makes fun of them, stops, and then replays every one-liner and then works them into the show. One of my goals is to learn a bunch of the music from that time and then play it as little ditties in between our
There we go. Yeah.
Welcome Back, Cotter. Or,
Night Rider.
Night Rider.
Oh, Night Rider.
Learn it on my keyboard.
Yeah.
So if you have any requests, you'll have to let me know.
Trust me, I will come up with a list for you. And then hobbies, anything else that you enjoy doing?
I really like hiking and kayaking when you can. This year's been a little odd to get hiking out there. So, and then pickleball. Like I'm
you are, huh? Okay.
That found the sport.
Oh.
I'll be playing it till I'm 90.
Okay. All right. Steve Handel and Heather Thomas, thank you both so much for spending some time and being on the Dave Holly Hour. It's greatly appreciated.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment. This week at Trio Jazz Club, the unofficial director of cannoli sales, Dan Heyer, plays one show at 6:30 with his dynamic quartet, providing classic and contemporary jazz. The William Flynn Trio takes the stage at 6:30 and 9 Friday. He's been described as playing a mean guitar. Saturday night at 6:30 and 9 at saxophonist Adam Larson. He's based out of Kansas City and performs often in New York City with some of the greats in the genre. James Dean's Soothing Sounds will be featured Tuesday night, and the Shamrockers, led by Mike Connor on guitar, are back Wednesday night. Tickets, details, all available, triojazzclub.com, where every night brings something different to the table.
It's the podcast that creatives in the Sioux Empire listen to so they can learn more about other creatives. It's the Dave Holly Hour.
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, it's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment. Boy, it's been so fun recently to get to see different people, to have different guests, new guests on, and not only that, but different forms of art. And today, we're going to learn about yet another form of art from Lindsay Lindaman. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Glad to hear that. We've obviously got much to talk about.
Yes.
Because theater, you teach art, and then you also own this company called Simply Ever After Entertainment.
Yep.
And that is so cool because that's, basically Disney characters and so forth and wherever they come from, that you get people to play those parts and characters, and you go out to wherever.
Yep.
So tell us, where is wherever then? What all have you been contracted to do with those characters?
And we've done so many things. I mean, we are not Disney licensed characters. If you want a Disney licensed character, please contact the proper copyright holders. But we've been all over. We do now, as we've gotten bigger, and just even with me teaching and my staff having full-time jobs and stuff, we've limited to about an hour and a half as far as we'll go. Just because when you total up drive time, you're losing like, how many hours a day just to get there. But we've been to Okoboji. We had a really cool event there in June. We've been to a lot of county fairs this summer. We were at Rock County Fair. We were at the Turner County Fair. And then we always go to Sioux Center a lot. We love going to Sioux Center. We've been there every year, I think, for like the last 8 or so years. And I love going out there. They always have the slushy machines there.
Oh, yeah.
I got to have one of those to tropical snow or Dakota snow now.
It's been long time since I've been to the Sioux County Fair, but yeah.
It was good. It was
That
great.
was a good one. No doubt about that. And you go for the slushies then?
I just always love getting to have the slushie. That's like my excitement at the end of it. It's like, hey, I think they're here.
Yeah. So when you tell your staff, hey, we're going to the Sioux County, how many of them immediately say that? Slushies.
Not very many, actually.
Okay. So
they don't get as excited
you.
as me. It is very much me. It's a nostalgia thing. It's like, I got to have my slushie. You got to have the rainbow ones, or when they had all the fancy names of like the Spider-Man kind with the red and blue. Oh, it's so fun.
All right. Well, let's talk about that first. Then we'll go back to, how everything started with art and being in theater, things along that line. So this particular thing, what made you start this and how did you get into this?
Well, I graduated from USF. I graduated in January, really. So I had a whole semester where I just had to do odd jobs as I tried to find a teaching job, because I got my degree in art education with a minor in music. And so I was like, I had some time, and I had a friend that reached out to me, I think that next summer, and they said, hey, I heard of someone on the radio talking about this princess company. I think they're in Cedar Rapids. You should check it out. And so I was working at the zoo at the time, which I love the Great Plains Zoo. I worked there for 4 years. And I don't work there anymore. I think I can now admit that when I didn't have anybody at my desk, I was Googling Disney princess wigs and just learning everything I could. And it just looked so much fun. And I'd already been rejected from the Disney college program. I got rejected in 10 minutes. Like, I sent in my application. I was so excited. And when I got the reply so fast, I'm like, cool.
Wow.
And I was like, nope, not for you. It's like, okay, all right.
Oh, goodness.
It was a big bummer. But it was so fun because I had such great friends from USF that I had built a really great friendship with. And they also loved Disney as much as I did. And so we were like, hey, can we do this? Like, oh, you would be a great Rapunzel. Oh, you would be a great Cinderella. And so it was really born out of a really strong and beautiful friendship. And eventually it was like, wow, this is very much a legitimate business. I need to start working towards understanding what that looks like,
Mm-hmm.
and really put all the legalities and things into. We from the beginning we had all
Right.
our T's crossed, I's dotted, but understanding what it meant to be a boss and what it meant to like love your staff and also hold them accountable and all those things. So it's been a real growth over the past 10 years of running it. And I hope I keep doing better and better as I learn.
10 years already.
Yeah. We
That's
started
incredible.
in 2015. Yeah. That's awesome.
How did you do through COVID?
We just shut down.
Okay.
Which was worked out really well.
Because the things that you do, you're way
I was a
too
teacher.
right.
Yeah. And so with South Dakota, I was still teaching my kids, talking to them on the on Google Meets was what we used. And so in the very first week of being locked down, I made a brand new Little Mermaid dress because I could. And then the next week I made my Batgirl outfit. And I'm like, okay, cool. What else am I going to make now? I have all this time. It was a beautiful dress. I loved it so much. But
How many characters do you have that your total staff can do? And then how many do you play on your own from time to time?
oof. I believe, and I'm not quite sure if it's like by costume or by specific character, because some have a multiple costumes. But I believe that we're somewhere in about 35-ish characters.
Wow.
Yes. I really like making costumes. I can't control myself. So we have about 35. I have 15 staff members right now, but not any one of them can play every character. And I think it's something that I pride myself on, is seeing the beauty in a person, but also the limitations of like, as much as like my boyfriend Christian wants to try on the Elsa costume. He keeps joking about it. He's like, you could just always ask me. I'd try it out. I can't send Christian as Elsa to a birthday party.
No. That won't work.
No, he'd look fabulous, but no. The 5-year-old will just be like really confused. Why does Elsa have facial hair? But no, I have a 15, and they're all wonderful people, performers in the area, and they just love what they do, and they love kids, and they're willing to do what it takes to really make a kid feel special.
Yeah. And how many do you play then?
I tried to avoid it anymore just because
because you're running the show.
I'm running the show. There's so many little bits and pieces that I want to make sure run smoothly. Plus, I'm just getting older. I mean, I do get mixed up with my high school students, but I'm getting into my mid-30s. And while I still can play other characters, I mainly just play Miss Fearless is usually the one I play. I've been Ice Queen plenty. When I was in my 20s, I played Poppy the Troll. And I recently had a good friend, a former performer, reach out for a birthday party. And I was like, yeah, I still have the costume. I could do it. And then I got thinking about it. I was like, I don't have the same energy I had when I was 20. But, you know, if you just do a 30-minute party, I think I can make it. But yeah, mostly I've been Belle. I've been Elsa. I've been the Little Mermaid. I've been Snow White. But I learned how to play guitar this year.
Oh, wow.
I'd gotten a guitar many, many, many years ago, and I never learned. And then I made it a point for like my own mental health, personal growth.
Right.
I was going to learn how to play guitar. I was going to learn how to play Taylor Swift songs. And then I was going to go out as Miss Fearless and have Taylor Swift themed birthday parties. And so I really do play. I've learned enough that
That's
I can
awesome.
play 2 songs confidently. I did one more for this last birthday party I did. It was so fun. And I'm obviously not Taylor Swift. In case you didn't know, I'm not Taylor Swift. So I say
I have bad eyes. I couldn't quite tell.
So I just say that I am the president of her fan club, Taylor Nation. And so I just know everything about Taylor. I'm wearing her prototypes from the Eras tour. Isn't that so cool? I can go that route.
You're a Swiftie.
I'm super Swiftie.
Yeah. Were you a fan of characters when you were growing up?
I definitely was. Beauty and the Beast was my very first movie. It was like about 5 months old. But I didn't really get into the nostalgia as much of characters until I was in college, because I had all this time to watch movies now instead of being involved in every single thing you do in high school. Like I was in everything. So I didn't have time to watch movies. But I wanted to be a Disney animator. Really wanted to do. I wanted to make the stories and draw it. I didn't have that drive. I didn't have it. I wanted it, but I wasn't willing. And I can look at this now as like more of a grown up. I wasn't willing to put in the work it took and the research to make it happen. But this I've learned so much through, and I think I've grown into the person that I'm supposed to be.
So you teach art on a full-time basis at West Lyon High School.
Yes.
Correct. And so that obviously takes up a fair amount of time.
Yes, it does.
So how much time do you get to spend during the school year on Simply Ever After?
I try to be really careful because obviously my teaching job is my full-time job. It's the one that pays the bills, and I love teaching. I have great kids. I don't remember if we said it earlier in this broadcast, but today was the first day of school. So I got to meet all of my kids again, check in with them. Got to show them what the yearbook looked like because I also do the yearbook.
Oh, fun.
So it was really fun. It was really cool to get to see them all. But like, as that's my job, I want to protect it from my business interfering in how I interact with my kids. And so I have my email open. I'm working on creating my own boundaries of like, hey, we're not checking it during class because if somebody sends you an email that upsets you, it's probably going to come out in class, and the kids don't deserve that. They deserve my best. And so I try very hard to make sure that I'm attending to everything I need to. I've got some new programs that are especially like, I think what people don't know is this princess business thing is not like a brand new phenomenon. There are hundreds of these all over the country. And so there are people that have set up programs that automate.
To teach you how?
Yeah. Well, not really teach you how, but like automate it, make it super easy. So people can just go on. They see the pictures of your characters you provide. They can pick, they can book it, automated answers of codes and things that will make it really easy to book. So I can teach. So that stuff's really nice.
The costuming that you do.
Yes.
Okay. How much of it are you making? How much has been purchased?
I love the question. So every princess gown that we have is mine.
Wow.
Exceptions would be
They're
Elsa's cape.
exquisite. They look great.
You. I love my costumes. They're so fun. Elsa's cape is bought though, and so is her mesh top. I hate stretch fabrics. They can go die in a hole. I'll get better someday, but right now I hate them. But those two things are bought. Yeah, I think every other princess costume is handmade by me. A couple superhero ones are, but all of the male performers' costumes besides Flynn Rider, I think were purchased.
Okay.
Off the top of my head.
What's on the horizon for new characters?
I am really excited about, I want to create this trio of elves that are like they got like kind of rocket outfits. I was actually working on it yesterday. And so I want them to be able to go to
Remember, you're talking to Santa Claus.
We will talk later more about that. Yes, people have already told me I should talk to you. But I want to create these 3 rockets. And so I've got this whole outfit designed. And so these elves will go out to corporate parties, and they'll do a little number and a little show, like a 30-minute quick little thing, do Christmas carols, whatever. But I'm just really excited because these cute little wigs I have coming in, they're like custom made and they're going to be peppermint striped. And it's just going to be the stinking cutest thing ever. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I don't know how put together it'll be for this Christmas. We have one thing lined up, so it might be a simplified version. But next Christmas, I'm planning on.
You're going to be popping them out here and there, right?
Oh, yeah.
That sounds fantastic. And so let's kind of go back. Before we finish up here, though, we need to talk about, what types of events do you go out? You've mentioned corporate things. You've mentioned birthday parties. What is the whole scope of what you guys will go out and put on a show for or entertain during?
I'm really I am really open to whatever makes sense. Because I really care about character integrity. So like if a young lady wants to have a bachelorette party and she wants to have Taylor Swift come, oh man,
you're there.
Come and I will play for you. But as soon as it gets into anything that doesn't fit the role of the character or something that just would not be within their world, then we'd probably say no. We did get a request a couple years ago for circus performers to crash a wedding reception. Which is I didn't get to go to it. I had a family thing, but I got to see all the pictures and hear about it and come up with like the costumes and things. It was so cool. So that was really fun. But really, people can throw out any idea to me, and as long as we can reasonably make it happen, I have brilliant performers. They're very capable. We can see what we can do.
Right. Do you collaborate with other groups in town and so forth? You know, I
Right.
guess as you're talking about things, I can envision
Yeah.
like South Dakota Aerial Arts
That'd be cool.
and being at the same type of thing as them. And yeah.
That would be awesome. I know I've seen them perform, I think on, was it Open Fridays downtown?
Yeah.
I think it's
And
what it's
like that 605 made where they do it out in the
yes.
parking lot and so forth. Yeah.
Yes. Well, right now we have a little partnership with We Rock the Spectrum Gym.
Okay.
They're going to have a character every month, and we're working on locking that in. We've worked with several businesses, but not really a repetitive partnership. We've worked with the Minnehaha Country Club several times. But I'm looking if people are willing to set something up. I know I've gotten a couple emails that just haven't extended to an actual plan, but I like new things.
All right. And if people have a new idea,
Mm.
how do they get in touch with you then?
They can shoot me an email. I will say there's been a couple complications in the last month, and it's entirely my fault. I got an art education degree. I don't have
Right.
a business degree. So I'm learning, and I have this wonderful, wonderful business coach. And so she's been like going over my websites, my things, and trying to make it so that I can serve people better. Because that's all I want to do is take good care of people. And so she's like, hey, your email address is not very professional. You should change it. You should change your website. So I changed my domain and my website,
Mhm.
but it's not correct on my business cards. And
gotcha.
it wasn't correct on a couple of places. So this transition has been fun. But it is info@simplyeveraftersd.com.
All right. Excellent. Okay. So let's go back to the art then and how that led into costuming. You've got a music minor and all sorts of stuff. So
I'm all over the place.
yeah, well, hey, I understand that myself. What got you interested in art to begin with and to decide to have that as a profession, to teach art?
Well, it's actually really interesting, at least to me. I mean, maybe not to everybody, but my mom likes to share the story that when I was 3 years old,
Mhm.
I would take the Kleenex boxes and a scissors, and I would cut out clothes for my Beanie Babies, and they would just automatically fit at the age of 3. So I've always
Woo.
I just could just do that. And so I have a really good, how I like to explain it to my kids even, is that I have a really good sense of 3-dimensional shape.
Uh-huh.
And so I can apply that in so many different ways, whether
Right.
that be costuming, stage, whatever. Doesn't mean I'm good at dancing, but it does mean I kind of get the idea of the space that I'm working with for set design, anything like that. But art was always my thing. Anybody who grew up with me could tell you that that was my thing. I always loved singing. I got to be in church worship team for a little bit. And then when I was a sophomore in high school, I beat out all the senior girls for the lead in Oklahoma.
Oh,
They were not
my.
very happy about that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes, but I got to be Lori. And then kind of it's a small town.
Yeah.
Ackley, Iowa is tiny. And all of a sudden, Lindsay Lindaman could sing. She could perform. What is this? And so I became that person for my high school until I graduated. And I stayed excited about it, and it, never really died out. When I was a senior, I got to go to New York on a choir trip. And I was so bummed because we were going to see Phantom of the Opera. And Think of Me was a song I sang over and over again, just like any soprano, in the 2009, around that time. But we had to go see this show called Wicked. And I was like, oh, that's not as cool as Phantom of the Opera. And I remember the intermission. My parents went on this trip. During the intermission, I went up to my dad. And I was like, Dad, I got to do that. Oh my gosh. And so it's so cool. I was sharing with one of my teammates, my princesses. We had our first Wicked party. And I got to be Glinda.
Oh,
and it was like,
goodness.
this is so cool. This is like my high school senior dream come true. Because after I saw that show, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, sorry, Phantom, you missed out. All right. So when it comes to acting locally, what do you enjoy? Are you, with that music background, always going to be in a musical? Are you going to be a straight play? What do you lean toward?
I love musicals. I am very supportive of my boyfriend Christian, and so I will see absolutely everything he's in. I've never missed a
show of his.
A show of his,
Yeah.
yes. Not that I go to every single one, but and I will always support the plays. I've seen some really incredible works. I think the 2 plays that stick out the most to me is Debbie Jones's one-woman play. Oh my goodness. I can't think of the name of it at the moment.
That she does with her Monstrous Theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And then Corson's He Promised Her the Moon.
Oh.
Those two shows just really were incredible.
Yeah.
Like I think those are the two best plays I've ever seen. But
with the incredible.
So good.
Oh.
But I usually bring knitting to plays so that my hands are busy. I'm an artist. I got to keep doing stuff with my hands. So I usually bring knitting. I hope nobody who has seen that in the audience is offended, but I'm
so, yeah, well, hey, everybody's going to have something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And so what's the role that you wish for that you go, this rolls around, I really want it?
Well, I was really excited to be in Hairspray this season, but I decided not to audition.
Really?
Simply Ever After currently has about 128 events for 2025.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. And my August with just running my business was packed. I had something happening all the time. And that was before school started. First day of school.
Right.
How on earth am I going to handle running a business that's this big at this point and also teaching to the best of my ability? So I was like, all right, practices start in February. Oh, dear Lord. So I had to make that choice, and I feel good about that choice, but I'm going to love watching Hairspray. But if we ever get an adult Frozen.
Really?
I mean, I've been Elsa for 10 years.
Right.
I know
Carry
that
it
role.
over.
Yes. So I've joked with people that if we ever actually have that show and we audition for it, I will show up in the full outfit.
Regalia. You're going to be there for it.
Yeah. And if I don't, I'm a supporter of everybody. If I don't get a role, it's not meant to have a role. But I think I could do it. I think I'd do a good job.
What stretches you as an artist? What makes you want to keep teaching art and so forth? And
anytime somebody's eyes light up in understanding. When they're finally like, oh, that's cool, or I could do that, or wow, I like, even just in costuming, like, wow, I look beautiful. I'm like, yes, you do. Like any moment like that where I can have somebody have joy, that's my whole life's purpose.
When they say, okay, now I get this 3D perspective, it's like your dresses that you put on your dolls.
You got to deck out those Beanie Babies. They got to look fashionable, with those Kleenexes.
All right. As a first-time guest, you get my favorite question to ask entertainers, artists, and entertainers. And then it may have a second one after that, depending on how you answer this.
Yep.
So, when you are not part of the arts and entertainment world, what do you like to be entertained by?
That's a great question.
Took till the end of this one, but I did get my great question in.
I love TikTok so much.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually listening to one of those lovely Reddit stories before I came in here, and I realized that it was 3:07, and I'm like, oh, I need to get going. I'm going to be late. But I saved the part 4 that I was on, and so afterwards, I'm going to find out how it ended.
There you go. All right. Do you have any other hobbies?
I've tried a lot of hobbies. I very much fit into the classic ADHD of picking up a project, being good at it fairly quickly, and then dropping it and picking up a new one. But sewing has stayed constant for at least the last 6 or 7 years, and I love it. I've got 3 machines now.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, they're awesome. I love them. They have names.
Good. What are they?
Lucy.
Okay.
Is the first one I got. And then this last year I got Maze and Trixie.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And do they speak to you often? Do they say, you're doing this wrong, you need to move this stitch over?
No, but Lucy's name just came out of my mouth one day. I don't usually name objects, but I was carrying my machine back into my house, I think, from bringing it to a sewing retreat at Heirloom Creations. And I was like, oh, Lucy, I'm so sorry, because I hit it against the door frame. I was like, when did your name become Lucy? Like, all right, okay.
We'll go with it. Yep. All right. Lindsay Lindaman, thank you so much, first of all, for everything that you do, and then for taking the time to be on the show. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, Get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony don't simply provide the service, they provide professional care for your hands and feet. Whether you just want the basics or you're looking for an extra special look with an added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails on Minnesota. Call for an appointment, 605-334-1463.
For him, every day is a holly day. Here again, Dave Holly.
Thanks again to my incredible guests, Steve Handel and Heather Thomas and Lindsay Lindaman. All of this week's guests made their first appearances on the show this week. To find out who's been on before, though, go to DaveHollyHour.com. All 290 episodes available to you anytime you want to hear them. Thank you all for supporting local arts and for taking the time to download, listen, and share the show. I encourage you to find your art. Find the art you enjoy. Find the art you're interested in trying. And we'll see you in the arts. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Art South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, my name is Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
The Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by Trio Jazz Club, Sioux Falls' premier jazz club. Serendipity Studio Gallery and Gifts, Chasers Food and Spirits, Excel Chiropractic, Quality Nails, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. Stay up to date on the show by following on Instagram and Facebook. All episodes available anytime at DaveHollyHour.com. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.